Why did philosophers hate women? I mean, by today's standards, everyone back then hated women. Like, oh no, they were just more traditional. Yeah, but if the woman doesn't have a say in how traditional she wants to be, to me that counts as like controlling and hating. Maybe not hating, but controlling.
What's up? Do you want to be a philosophy major? Are you considering it? Let's have a chat. I am one. At UCLA.
What if I told you that all of our favorite philosophers are men, and all of them are extremely sexist?
Yeah, facts, because imagine like back then, like women had a lot less say in basically everything. Like imagine a woman came up to you and started telling a man back then how to act. Yeah, they did like label her a witch and like put her on a cross, bro. Like, yeah, obviously.
Women are not made of the higher sciences. They may be educated, but they cannot reach the depths of philosophy.
And this is all of your favorite philosophers. Even the recent ones that are female are equally just as sexist.
Do you believe that there is going to be a day where there's going to be a female in the White House as president? And how do you feel about that?
I wouldn't vote for her.
You would or wouldn't?
Would not.
You would not?
No.
But what does this mean? Because this is never mentioned.
I mean, to be honest with you, whether we had a man, woman, animal in office, bro, it genuinely wouldn't matter. Like, at this point, Democrat, Republican, it really doesn't matter. The same decisions are being made, bro.
In your philosophy courses, favorite YouTubers, the professionals that study this.
It's like, pick between this pile of turd and that pile of turd. Oh, there's a third pile of turd. Look how many turds you can pick between.
Because deep down, they agree. But why? Does this mean the philosophers are still correct, or have times changed?
Hello, those are my teeth marks. The human being is spirit, but what is spirit? Spirit is a self, but what is a self? The self is a relation which relates to itself, or that in the relation which is it's relating to itself.
Okay, girls with pixie cuts, like really short hair, are either cool as hell. I say this about everybody, by the way. Any group of people, if you've watched my previous videos, they're either the worst people ever or the best people ever. No, but genuinely though, pixie-haired girls are either the best, most genuine people ever, or just like the most insufferable people out there.
The self is not the relation, but the relation's relating to itself. A human being is a synthesis of the infinite and of the finite, of the temporal and the eternal.
Did you guys understand that? Well, the point was, you were not supposed to, because there was nothing of substance that was said. There's a lot of...
Ooh, those types of people. The people just be using big words. Because I know the point of your argument is to seem smart, not to actually get any point across. And that really annoys me. Like, the whole point of language is to communicate. Like, the notion that smart people use extravagant words are difficult to understand, that's a sign of low intelligence. You can't make your language understandable to other people, then what's the point of speaking? You're talking to yourself out loud? Like, there are so many, like, false signals about how smart you are that we, like, base people's intelligence off of, or the assumption of their intelligence off of.
Formatism in today's world in terms of how intelligent I am, because I can speak in a way so eloquently you cannot understand. But quite simply, that is just a sign.
Bro, this guy, like, okay, men can cry. Like, okay, we like pushed that narrative, but he's been crying ever since. Like, holy, bro, you're running out of water in there, man.
Of memorization and lack of ability to communicate.
This is why there are a lot of people who are really smart. They use a lot of jargon, and you can't quite follow their reasoning. You don't know how they're putting things together, and you have this deep down suspicion they don't even really understand. So if you look at the most powerful thinkers, especially the ones where money or life is on the line, they have to understand the basics really, really well. Richard Feynman, the famous physicist, he had this piece in one of his lectures where he takes you from counting numbers on your hand all the way to calculus in 4 pages. And it's a complete unbroken logical chain that takes you through pre-calculus, analytic geometry, graphs, everything, all the way to calculus. He understood numbers at a core level. He didn't have to memorize anything.
That's the best way to find out how much you understand about a subject. I know, like, Einstein gets quoted like all the time about things that he probably never said, but there is a supposed quote by Einstein, which is, if you can't explain it simply, you don't fully understand it. And that's so true. And it's the same thing for language. If you can't communicate simply, then you really don't know how to communicate.
When you're memorizing, it's an indication that you don't understand. You should be able to rederive anything on the spot. And if you can't, you don't know it.
Warning, this video is not meant to hate women. I love women, specifically Latinas, but truthfully, women cannot...
Bro, come on. I love women. It shows just straight music videos. Like, what are we talking about, man? Kamala Harris and then 3 music videos.
Shut the fuck up about how they live longer, how they're more mature, more intelligent than men, which, by the way, is actually factually correct.
Women are literally smarter than men because toxic masculinity holds men back from becoming emotionally mature.
Oh, those people just throwing a bunch of buzzwords they found on TikTok. Emotionally mature, smarter. Okay, she's not really using them. Okay, maybe I am an idiot. Oh my god, I just low-key proved their point. I was like, she's using so many big words. I'm looking, trying to find any big words. I'm like, okay, maybe I'm stupid, bro.
I think one issue with modern dating that I haven't seen a lot of women talk about is the number of women who are disproportionately more educated than men. Between the ages of 25 and 34, women outnumber men in bachelor's degrees by 10%.
But you see in the real world,
Okay, but you're a hypocrite now because you're against like women and men hating on women, and you're now hating on men. Like, there's nothing worse than a hypocrite. Like, just shush. Oh, dating is so difficult because we're just so much smarter than the opposite sex. Yeah, you know when they used to say that like 500 years ago when women couldn't vote. Like, what are we talking about, man?
how men dominate every single field. Why are all the wisest people dead and now only preferring men? 100 million AI contracts with the G, how, who, you. Why is there not more women? Where's my diversity?
Yeah.
And a short synthesis is
Not even a diversity hire. Like, you couldn't like do what every other corporation does and just hire the one immigrant. Like, that's Loki. That's one thing that works in my favor, I guess. Even though I'm not really like an immigrant at this point. I mean, I guess I am. That's not really something that changes. I don't know the proper parameters for the terminology, but the diversity hire is a very real thing. But you know what I do like about the UK, for example? They're not allowed to know anything before they hire you that is not allowed to change the outcome of the decision. Like, for example, if you are to put your nationality, not nationality, I think like obviously you have to say whether you're a citizen or not, but if you put your race, your gender, your sexuality, those things are like in a separate anonymous form, so they can't actually use it to decide whether to, based off whether to hire you or not, which is something I fully agree with.
synthesis is a relation between two terms. Looked at in this way, the human being is not yet a self. Soren Kierkegaard, The Sickness Unto Death. This book is very well loved and hated.
Banana Butthole III clenched his cheeks awaiting the tip of a real man. Is anything she
Whoa.
is saying making any actual sense? Obviously not. And again, that is not the point. It's just to pretend that you are.
Is he defusing a bomb? Like, I know that's a microphone, but holy, like, you really don't have that many cables, my brother. Like, just put a tie on them. They look like something's about to explode in there.
Are intelligent. And I don't want to slam dunk on this girl, but the theme of the video is that philosophers never respected women, especially when it came to philosophy and advanced sciences.
When the laws gave women equal rights with man, they ought to have also endowed her with a masculine intellect.
Like, you know, he got no maidens, so he's just frustrated, gang. When he sent the carrier pigeons with the notes, none of them responded, bro. No carrier pigeons hit up his place, bro.
So the question is, were they correct? Because we're now in the future where women are the most educated in terms of college. They are.
Damn, what is that? The percentage of women that go to college. Bro, that's crazy. But at least it's like on an overall upwards trend.
Are the ones that are the most enrolled. Men are actually becoming less educated. But
Ball knowledge video. Oh my god, I need to revisit that video. Just sat there talking to a homeless man. Like, this seems in theory like a nice thing to do, and like not just a nice thing to do, like genuinely a fulfilling thing to do. To sit there with somebody and just hear about their life when they're at their lowest, possibly. But most of the time, they're just like fiending for money for some more of that substance.
statistically, men have a higher ceiling for IQ. Equally, men also have the lowest ceiling for IQ, and you can see this explained in a lot of statistics where men live the most diverse lives, as in they're.
Yo, you can tell from this guy's eyes, he's loco, bro. He's about to crash out at anything, bro. You could cough in front of him, he'd put his fist in his mouth. Shut the f. He's about to lose it.
The richest, and equally they are the most poor. You can see this pattern occur in everything.
Damn.
And to preface, this is very important to know, but all of these studies of men having larger variabilities in terms of IQ is also extremely old. This is where the argument comes up that, well, maybe it's because men had an education and women didn't, so it skewed the statistics. But remember, statistically, IQ is heritable, as in it is biological, as in it is something you were born with. That is why men are taller, that is why men are stronger. And
But it's also a very stupid argument, because in the womb you were a woman. Like, not in the womb, I think like your gender hadn't been decided. No, I think you were a woman. You had an XX chromosomes. That's why you got nipples. So it's just a very stupid argument, because what part of testosterone and like, okay, certain hormones made you develop like male body parts, but how would those hormones influence your intellect? Like that's the point that doesn't really make sense. Like, it's not like you were made in a completely different womb by a completely different biological process. No, you're basically identical. Like, we really lock in on the minute differences, but in reality, we chose that women have long hair. It's not really something like if a biological woman dressed like a biological man and acted like a biological man, other than a few like facial features which we've become accustomed to noticing, there really wouldn't be any difference. Like a lot of the differences between men and women, like for example, pink for women and blue for guys, those are social constructs.
Also equates to why they can be dumber and smarter. Also, I lied. There are a bunch of new studies, 2024, 2025, that proves the exact point of IQ variability, meaning the philosopher saying women cannot reach the depths of...
And the philosophers also like always chopped. Like, could we not get like Jordan Barrett or like Chico to say this to say these quotes, bro?
advanced sciences is actually correct.
Oh, Brandon, would you be down to kiss? Yeah, I'll be down. Come here.
No. Oh my god, bro. Stop.
Sorry, that was the wrong clip. But here is Anne Ride, a female philosopher.
Like, I'll be honest with y'all, hey man, I'm not against no nothing. You do whatever you want with your life, but just not on my screen, bro. And not when it's too corny ass. Like, nah, bro.
Other than Jesus, no other figure has influenced more Americans than this woman right here, Ayn Rand. And I'm not kidding. There was literally a Library of Congress study that showed exactly that. Maybe that's a win for feminism? I don't know. Anyway, I'm sure you assume that Ayn Rand is this sort of like conservative American philosopher, but she wasn't. She was really a Russian playwright who was obsessed with a Hollywood who would not accept her. And right today, there are senators named after her, like my good friend right here, Rand Paul. But the most bizarre legacy of her influence, and this is something you probably won't hear most places, is her devout following in Hollywood. For instance, shortly before dying, Farrah Fawcett called Ayn Rand a literary genius. Angelina Jolie called her philosophy very, very interesting. Rob Lowe here said that her novel Atlas Shrugged is a stupendous achievement and that he just adores it. And this one killed me a little bit, but Eva Mendes said that anybody she dates has to be a fan of Ayn Rand.
So we're going to get into her belief.
Bro, girls usually in general have so many like red flags and green flags, but in reality they like date the complete opposite. Like, never get too obsessed with what they say women want on TikTok, because in reality like there's a strong disconnect between what people say online and how they behave in person. But holy, this is like the female Donald Trump, like aesthetic wise. Like, I know that hair fake as hell, shawty.
Beliefs and ideologies, but before we even do that, you can tell by the comments, a lot of people don't like her.
Ayn Rand sucks. You shouldn't respect her. Let me tell you why. I wouldn't read this book
He looks like Vsauce. I already trust him. I can't even lie.
again if I was stranded on a desert island for the rest of my life, and this was my only reading material.
Ayn Rand seemed profound when I was in the 8th grade, but as I got older, she seemed childish.
Yeah, we're on completely different planets. You were reading philosophy books in the 8th grade. Like, I don't even know what I was doing. I was like experimenting down there probably. I don't even... What was I doing in the 8th grade, gang? Like, trying to download Valorant on my school laptop?
And why is that? She's like one of the most popular female philosophers, and they hate her. I will say though, it's a little ironic that there isn't a lot of female philosophers, and the philosophers that do hate women, which is all of them, also nobody likes the one that is the only one that's very popular. What does that say? What does that say? You guys actually think about that. But here's the truth. She's really good.
Ayn Rand is a writer and philosopher. Her philosophy is most dramatically expressed through the heroic characters in her 4 novels, of which The Fountainhead and Atlas Shrugged are the most famous.
Just like, to me, it just seems like a marketing tactic. Honestly, any modern day philosophers, it just doesn't hit the same. Like, if I can get videos of you in like color, yeah, I don't really care what you have to say. Like, I'm more interested in like what the Greeks back then used to think. And I know it probably doesn't matter because we really haven't evolved in 1,000 years, especially not mentally or like in any meaningful way. Like, the same people alive now are the same people alive then. But at the same time, something that's modern is a lot easier to be like manipulated, or it's a lot easier to be pushed upon you through like good marketing, I guess. Like, she's obviously trying to sell something. She's someone who's alive. But looking back, you can compare with thousands of years. You can compare like a multitude of people all throughout history. Find the best piece of work. Like Stoicism, for example. God, don't even get me started. Genuinely, like if you ever feel like you're in a hole, get into Stoicism. Every time, rediscover. Even if you've been down that rabbit hole, go down that rabbit hole again. Like, how can I draw this through to y'all in the best way possible? If you cannot control it, don't even bother thinking about it. It's not worth your consciousness. It's something you can't control. And some things you shouldn't try to control, like what every single person thinks of you. And the second most important principle of Stoicism, do not let your emotions control your actions. Like, make that disconnect. Like, okay, this is what my body thinks of, this is what my mind wants me to do, this is how I feel, but this is not how I'm gonna act. And once you make that disconnect, you can walk into a room with 500 people and look like you're walking into your bedroom. And it's gonna take time, because it's training your body and mind. Do not neglect the mind.
Miss Rand, You have said that your primary purpose in writing is to project the ideal man. For those who may not have read Atlas Shrugged and have not yet met Hank Rearden or John Galt, how would you describe the ideal man?
And
6 foot, 6 figures, 6 inches.
Pride and her main philosophy is something called objectivism. The core idea is that reality exists independently of anyone's feelings or wishes. I could tell that the girl from the TikTok is someone who takes a lot of pride in being better than men, more intelligent, and
I think this gap in education becomes very apparent in dating.
You know what I realize? If you hate someone, you haven't really gotten over them. Like, whether you like it or not, the fact that you're so hateful towards men means that they have more control over your life than someone who feels indifferent. Like, they live rent free in your mind. And this is the thing, if you're actually trying to get over somebody, you can't hate them, because that means they're still on your conscience. Like, this is actually exposing herself.
Because you don't really want to text somebody who's constantly speaking with grammatical errors, who can't keep up with you intellectually, who's not good at like communicating their thoughts and like putting them into words and really concisely, effectively communicating them to you.
guess what? Again, statistically, that is true. But people also forget that men are objectively, statistically, better. And
why is LeBron in the background? This has nothing to do with basketball.
That sounds very rage baity, provocative, but that's entirely the point of Ayn Rand, which is why so many people hate her. It's
is he trying to say that LeBron would dunk on Anne Morant? Yeah, probably.
Because she is an OG rage baiter, which people forget that a lot of philosophers at the time, no one liked whatsoever. They would kill all the...
Yo, the hand placement, gang. My brother in whatever. Holy, get that hand out of here, gang. I don't even touch my girl like this. This is some hella zesty shit. They were moving bare fruity back in the day, I ain't even gonna lie. Considering they lived at a time, which I don't know the rules in the Greek or Roman Empire, but considering back then they were so against like gay people, they had some like zesty gestures, bro.
Greek philosophers, because they did so much change.
Nah, touching your beard like you're playing with your hair as well. Now you fruity. Oh my god, yo, I'm snitching to the emperor, gang.
It's the same idea. Every philosopher is hated when they are alive, but after they die,
How did bro sneak gel back in the day? Like, where did he get that strong ass formula to put in his hair? He dead ass time traveled. Look at his little cheeky face, bro.
They are revered, they are loved. Friedrich Nietzsche died irrelevant, so, hated, forgotten, not cared about. Ayn Rand is exactly the same.
What Rand offers is an inversion of the golden rule. Instead of love your neighbor as yourself, Rand instructs us to cut the middleman and just love yourself instead. To Rand, altruism is evil, and selfishness should be rewarded.
The problem with philosophy content is that a bunch of them believe they are more intelligent than they actually are. What people don't understand about the biblical quote is, love thy neighbor as thyself. Thyself is the measuring stick, not an afterthought. It assumes...
This is something that is like common with basically every philosophical train of thought, or like a lot of like major religions obviously, and like a lot of philosophy as well. Like, treat others the way you want to be treated. And I think it's good to have a bit of selfishness. Like, you shouldn't be selfless because you matter as well. You are also an individual, but we're also social creatures. Like, living purely for yourself and never doing anything for anyone else and just being this sort of selfish person that's so self-centered, you are going to be a miserable human being.
There's already a baseline of care, dignity, and mercy you give yourself, because think about it, how can you love someone more if you can't even love yourself first? That's what Ayn Rand is talking about, because you need to be selfish for yourself if you actually want to contribute for society. How could you provide to the world if you're a homeless man trying to constantly help everyone else? You have no resources, you have no leverage, and it's quite simple to understand, but people get caught up in this game of I'm intelligent. I
get what she's saying, but if we think about it like how you should vote, for example, if you want to live in a democracy, then you should vote based off what you think is best for you and the people you love. Do not vote based off what other people are voting. Do not vote based off what they're telling you is right. Just vote based off purely what decisions, what promises would be the most beneficial for me and my family and the people I love. If everyone votes based off of that, then we will have a true democracy. But the truth is, it's more of theater than anything. And so I get what she's saying, be selfish, but also wanting the best for the people you love love is selfish. Like, yeah, I would much rather my sibling win $1 million than someone I don't know. Or I would much rather my girlfriend win $1 million than someone I don't know. And that is kind of selfish, I guess. Because I enjoy seeing the people I love happy. And I think that's something she's really missing out on.
Use the word altruism.
For many people, religion is a way of explaining the mysteries of life, the unknown things. Do you recognize no mysteries?
I don't believe that lack of knowledge.
Bro, like, come on, at some point you start deteriorating. Like, how old is she? Man, like, I know one day I'm gonna be an old man and I'm gonna look back and be like, I really shouldn't have said this, but bro, she's molding. Like, she's like Joe Biden. She's about to fall off the fucking chair. Like, put her in a nursing home, man. I feel bad, bro. Got all these lights on her. She's melting, bro.
Is a license to start inventing fantasies.
Like, hot take, what is this accent? Hot take, you're not allowed to vote until you're 18. I think after the age of 70, every 5 years, you should take a mental examination to see whether if you're mentally fit enough to vote. Because by that logic, okay, you can't vote if you're too young. Then should you be, why? Based off of what basis? Maturity or like not being mentally developed enough? Yeah, well, when you start mentally deteriorating, why are you still allowed to vote? Because I'll be honest with you, these boomers, they know who they're gonna vote for before they even hear any policies, before they even know what's going on. Every headline is either something that's fake and bogus, or it's just something that even furthers their nonsensical belief. Like, most of them purely vote based off of what they think they should vote. It's like there's no logic or any thinking behind it. It's genuinely like just a sector of the populace with no critical thinking that at the same time is actually deteriorating for democracy, which is ironic because more people are voting, but at the same time it's less democratic.
And because everyone hates on the female philosopher that is purposefully being antagonistic, being very controversial, it's easy to feel smart and take the free win. But
because your vote means less, just to circle back on that point, because your vote means less if 50% of the votes are already like decided by people who are obviously not 50%, because 50% of the population isn't over 80 with dementia. But it means that your vote as a sovereign individual means less.
I think people need to understand her philosophy has existed forever. Rarely will a new thought ever be generated. You can't fill a cup or something from an empty cup. You get the idea, right? You need to help yourself first. You need to love yourself first before you can help other people. And the main idea with
Foozy. Yeah, this was a YouTube era, man.
And Ride is that you don't want to be someone who feels obligated to help other people because of societal pressures. You need to do it for your own self, for your own reason, which is to be selfish.
Donated as a year of clean water for someone in need. And, we're trying to raise money to get people clean water all around the world.
Yo, this actually made me so uncomfortable. When Mr. Beast started begging these YouTubers and just like putting them on the spot, and he's like, oh my god, yes, donate 10,000? Come on, 100,000. I know you've got the money. Like, Beast, what were you thinking, bro? You knew this was gonna be a PR disaster. Like, the 20 million trees thing really like sort of skewed his perception on by what means do you get people to donate. Like, publicly shaming people into donating is, I think is something about it doesn't make me feel like this might be the best course of action or the most moral thing to do.
A big thing. People die from it, and we were just curious. Your friends here were saying you were a very generous soul.
Yeah, we know you're really generous, and we're just trying to find out whether you're a raging racist that doesn't think people in Africa deserve any water. So, are you gonna donate or not?
Are you really gonna do this shit? I fucking at the McDonald's drive-thru, man. Is this gonna happen to me?
If you guys don't get it, Mr. Beast is guilt-tripping a lot of celebrities doing on a live stream to donate money for his charity. But the problem is, they don't want to donate the money. They're being forced to via obligation and social pressure into doing it. This is important to know because moral debt is a real thing. There are studies, even a Vsauce experimental video.
What we learned from moral psychology experiments...
Oh wait, I'm tripping. It's not Vsauce, it's Veritasium, I think, that he looked like, not Vsauce. I mean, they both look the exact same, to be honest with you. Both balding. Sorry, Veritasium.
Doesn't always make humans look good. For example, today we're going to look at moral licensing. The theory that when you do something good, you subconsciously feel you've earned a license to then do something bad.
Damn.
Surprise, surprise, it is not a theory, and that is why it is so important to love yourself first and not live under obligations doing things other people want you to do rather than you yourself wanting it to do. Because if you're forced to do something good like donating...
Okay, now you're talking just like that woman we talked about earlier, bro. Like, can you speak normally? Like, you're just saying shit now.
...money to a charity you don't give a fuck about, then maybe you will justify doing that good for the sake of doing something bad.
Okay, I get
AKA Ayn Rand is correct. Selfishness should be rewarded because it benefits society overall. Thank you for my TED Talk. Like, subscribe.
If a man's ever rude to you, just be an inconvenience.
Women remain children all their lives. They always see only what is near, think only of the present, and
Yo, low-key, when I was like, I think I've like deteriorated in terms of maturity and now I'm on the way back up. Like, I think when I was like 14, bro, I was so wise beyond my years. Like, imagine as a 14-year-old sitting there and like genuinely realizing that this might be peak life, that it doesn't really get better than this. And that's true, bro. For a lot of people, that's true. Like, especially when I was like 14, sat in class, surrounded by friends, surrounded by people that love me. I mean, love is a strong word, but you get what I'm saying. It's like, I knew I would look back at these moments so fondly and I enjoyed every moment. And that takes a lot of maturity to realize what you have, especially at that age where everyone's like, oh, I want a Bugatti and that's gonna make me so happy. In reality, as long as you're not like worried about rent, you're probably gonna be just as happy as if you weren't. No, just as happy as if you were like living in luxury.
incapable of looking far ahead. Their judgment.
My brother. Holy no wonder this is the most replayed section. I mean, it's not really, but holy chuds. Okay, hold on. Oh my days. Nah, you gotta let it go. You need to let it go. No. What the hell is this? Nah, bring this back, bro. Flip the R9 cut. I want to see some person walking around with this sort of cut, man.
Their judgment is like that of a child. It lacks depth and is determined by immediate impressions.
Yeah, that was fucking sick. Nah, I'll be 100% honest. That was a cool edit, but I think people forget that these philosophers do not hate women. They're making generalizations, which is factually correct, right? Does that make sense? There will be outliers, and those outliers will be the exception to the rule. That does not mean every type of woman you meet will be...
Yeah, but also what are those generalizations based off of? Because if those generalizations are, for example, time dependent, or it's a generalization made based off the assumption that is biological and not something that is environmental, because the truth is women and men are like intellectually identical. Like any minute difference is really not gonna bring any notable difference when we're talking about it being on such a large scale. Like the difference between a man to another man or a woman to another woman is much larger than the difference between the sexes. Much larger. So it's really a stupid argument. And most of the deviations, and like if we're looking at a general population and we're looking for the minute differences in intellect, most of that deviation is gonna be through environmental factors. But when they made these assumptions and these generalizations, their understanding was it was a biological defect almost. Like it's a stupid argument.
Beneath you because they're a little bit less intelligent statistically. But I think a lot of people forget.
Yo, you gotta give it to him. He was entertaining as hell, bro. He was funny as... Nowadays, the things he said would be like so normal. I mean, I wouldn't say so normal, but he came at a time where it was like he was breaking every unspoken rule on the internet. But he is a demon rage baiter. Like he's a comedian. He's funny as hell.
That there is an average narcissism bias. If you look at the stats, ask a driver, the majority of drivers will believe they are better than the others. So when I present the fact that a lot of men could be more intelligent by, genetics, they assume, yeah, I'm the intelligent one.
Hot take, Elon Musk has hella potential. Like if he locked in, like we saw Mark Zuck's transformation, Elon Musk, low-key, if he locked in and stopped looking like the Tesla Model X, he might be like high tier normie.
Probably not the one at the very bottom, but take this information as you will. But here's the truth. That doesn't mean you discriminate against women. That doesn't mean you discriminate against men because they could be more intelligent or they could be dumber. The main idea is these guys were extremely ahead of their time. They don't have studies. A lot of their ideas came from just pure observation and interpretation. But here's the truth. The more we consume and use social media, you're
having a framed picture of the big Stein in your home, in your abode, in your casa. I can like throw him in jail instead to make him do the time for him.
Grading the part of your brain where you were thinking for yourself. I never went or enjoyed philosophy in college, high school. I never liked any of it because everything they taught were things I've already thought of myself. And this is very important because this is also...
Yeah, all right, Plato. All right, Marcus Aurelius, chill. Like, I've already thought of all of this. This philosophy crap, like he thinks the way I used to think when I was 9. I used to think the only thing I didn't understand was the names of different types of bread. Because my mom would send me to the bakery and she'd be like, bring 5 of this, 20 of this, 5 of that. And the moment I entered the store, I just completely forgot everything. And I was like, if I could only remember the names billions of these bread, I would know everything on this planet. There would be no more information to digest. And that's such a stupid way to think. If you realize how stupid you are, unironically, you are probably in the top 30% already of like intelligence, like actual, your ability to comprehend things.
So the main philosophy towards the content you watch. The fuck? Do you think I watch YouTube videos about some British guy talking about philosophy? That's dumb as fuck. I'm being so serious. That is the dumbest thing you could possibly do, because modern day philosophers no longer exist. You know why they don't exist? Because they're using all the actual teachings and learnings from philosophy in their real life, and they're all of the successful people. Does that make sense? It is a genuine trap to be stuck in this echo chamber of believing you are more intelligent based off of, I know philosophy, I know what altruism is. Oh, do you know how to pronounce French?
Oh yeah, when you know what the distinct, minute meaning of like buzzwords is, and you think that, oh, I'm smarter than you now because I know what this buzzword actually means, instead of the way that it's actually used in modern day language or when you're communicating with someone. Like, yeah, maybe I'm not using it in the exact right situation, but as long as you understood what I said, like, can you stop being stupid? I kind of get what you're saying, because obviously you don't want language to just turn into mumbo jumbo, but for some buzzword that's going to be relevant for 2 weeks before everyone moves on to the next word, like, can you cut me a bit of slack, buddy?
Nietzsche? I do. You Nietzsche? This guy. And I think it's very important to know that modern day philosophers are the ones that are actually applying the lessons. The fakes and fake intelligent people are the ones who pretend they are smart because they talk about it all the time, rather than actually applying and putting themselves in situations where they fail and learn from it and become even smarter. Okay, so here's a very clear theme in this video. People pretend to be intelligent by memorization, but interpretation and the ability to break it down into fundamentals is extremely important. This is why my videos are not—
Why is Kamala Harris on my screen? What does she have to do with any of this? Oh, here's a woman, Kamala Harris. Like, this one GQ video. Get off of my screen.
That's targeted towards philosophy idiots, but people who haven't even been—
Oh god, I know this is gonna get clipped if I ever like become famous, and it's gonna be like, oh, look at what side of the spectrum he's on. I'm not making any political statements, okay? I'm just like, she has nothing to do with this video.
Introduced to it, because if your goal is to teach and leave a real impact, you wouldn't go to those who speak and think like you, but those who have never even considered to do so. Check out my Aisha Speed video. Check out my Kanye West video. Kodak Black is a Clash Royale goblin. Who thinks of that? A real philosopher. But yeah, women are cool. I like women. It's just that, yeah, accept the facts, right? Some men could be smarter, but the majority of them are dumber than women. Just realize the difference between median, mode, range, this stuff you get in high school. And here's a very clear lesson you need to realize. All of the questions and answers you—
Oh, the cable organization came in like halfway through the video. I see you though.
Don't have and you want to desperately know, it's out there. The internet exists. You can find it. But why are you choosing not to find it? Check out the Patreon. Watch my YouTube video.
Holy man. I mean, at least it's at the end of the video. Hey, if you guys enjoyed, subscribe. I love every single one of y'all, and yeah, peace.